Hello, everybody, and welcome to what will be a regular broadcast of Clarity Players. Here, we're going to be starting a regular series. We'll show you some games. My name is Word. Casting with me is Zombie Grub. How are you today?
I'm good.
Excellent. I'm excited for this game. As a Clarity representative, I am always happy to see Clarity Players play, and I definitely think we need some more content out there. So, we're spawning on Whirlwind. Now, in the upper right, the non-Clarity player, but excellently skilled opponent. He's a Zerg player, formerly of LGIM. He is Min Suk.
And in the bottom right, and it's going to be the Clarity player. This is Elige, correct?
Actually, I believe this is BadCop.
All right, it's
I think this is what happens when we're on the Smurf accounts. It can easily get confused. But this is BadCop, incredibly talented Terran player from the Clarity Gaming Academy. And we'll also be casting a game from Elige today, so you can look forward to that. It'll be right there on the YouTube channel as well. But two excellent Terrans from the Clarity Gaming Academy. We're going to have a TVZ here on Whirlwind. Probably the best map for a TVZ. Really exciting, really big. Lots of stuff can happen. We're seeing the Zerg player starting off with an extractor trick. Not something I actually see a lot nowadays.
Koreans generally favor it. It started in Brood War, and for some reason it's always, I guess, trained in the practice houses.
The extractor trick, huh? Well, I guess they must know something we don't. I don't know, there's always that... I thought that, like, mathematically, the whole argument was the 9 Overlord was just better. I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm sure, like, the math has come out since StarCraft 2 has obviously come out, but... and maybe they have been changing it recently, but back when, in the earlier days of StarCraft, it was always a cast of saying, Koreans love this, they always go to the extractor chick, and if you don't see a Korean do extractor chick, that's what's weird.
Well, maybe he's breaking the meta a little bit here. We are going to see BadCop going for a Command Center first on the high ground, which is nice, because Command Center first on the low ground, if there's a 6 or even a 10 pool, you can find yourself in serious trouble. On the high ground, though, it's not so bad. Get the barracks to complete that wall off, and even the earliest of pools are very defensible.
Yeah, pretty much you can defend everything except like a drone pool, 6 pool, and that would never happen on Whirlwind, simply because your Overlord does not get there in time to confirm either one, and you're just going to find yourself in the wrong position, and out of luck, really. So it's pretty safe to do the 14cc even on the low ground on this map, but it's so safe. I don't think there's anything you can do on Whirlwind against a 14cc on the high ground.
Yeah, it would just have to be one of those really lucky punish situations. You kind of guess where they are. Some Zerg players will send a very early drone scout out at the sacrifice of, even more early game economy if they really want to go all in, just so they can direct their lings in the right way. But, as we were saying, very rare, not a smart choice. Whirlwind is a macro map. Use it to your advantage. We are going to see a gas opening here for the Zerg player Min Suk, which is, not unusual. The speedlings in the early game very much help to deal with the Reapers. They help to deal with any Hellions coming in. And if you get maybe 10, 12 or so relatively quickly, you can even push to kind of deny the natural a little while for a Terran player.
Yeah, you definitely can. And Whirlwind is a map where you also sometimes see that quick 3-hatch, especially if they're able to scout the 14cc in time. Unfortunately, of course, he wasn't. The Overlord just got in there and saw the 14cc on the high ground, so he knows that the Terran's playing a little greedy. Now it's up to him. Does he make like 12 to 16 lings, go in there and force a lift on the natural, or does he try and outplay him greedily by getting a quick third and just droning up really, really hard?
Yeah, these are the decisions you have to make. Sometimes in the metagame, if you know a player you're facing particularly well, a game from the Homestory Cup comes to mind, a ZVZ, where I believe it was Hyun and Snoot were playing each other, and just neither of them made a unit until like 50 supply, which you would never otherwise see in a ZVZ. So depending on how often these players do happen to meet on the ladder, that's something that can come into play. But regarding greediness, it's always just to best to play it safe if you're not sure exactly what you're going up against. Keep active with your scouting. I mean, we see that BadCop here is getting the nice wall up on his natural, so as long as he prevents the bunker from being surrounded by any early speedlings, he'll be in pretty good shape.
Yep. And this nice patrol marine is going to catch that Overlord, so that'll be a lack of a scouting Overlord. It won't be very beneficial as a suicide even. It wouldn't even get far enough to see that, in fact, he's going for Hellions, and it's Heck Lab on the barracks. It's usually an indicator that there are, in fact, going barracks. You would like to see that, but even then it's not completely obvious. They could always switch it later with another factory. So we'll be wanting to go back with an Overlord or get some type of indication that, yes, he is going bio, and not just mass Hellions or Hellbat drops into mech.
Yeah, and those Hellbat drops are definitely something you do have to worry about, pretty much in all the matchups, but especially in TVT and TVZ. They're very prevalent. They're kind of a staple part of a lot of builds, and they're very easy to transition out of, even if you don't want to fully go into mech. We are going to see just standard Hellions on the ground now for BadCop as he pressures his way to secure his third base, and probably some E-bays going up soon. That's pretty much the standard way to play a macro TVZ match. Third CC and a couple E-bays to just kind of make yourself a nice, smooth, aggressive mid-game.
Yep. And he is playing really greedy. He's, of course, getting those engineer bays just like you said. So very, very greedy stuff. Really only Hellions and a few Marines. Baneling Bus extremely hard to hold without a tank or just plain old more units. But it doesn't look like our Zerg player is going to go ahead and do any like that. And I do believe that BadCop has confirmed the third he has. So nothing early game-wise all-in. Definitely could still go for that mid-game all-in like the mass Speedling Banes. And really take advantage of the current metagame where, Terran just are not getting tanks.
Yeah, Terrans with Widow Mines are especially vulnerable to those sorts of all-ins, and there's a whole lot of variety of them that could come. It can be from, 3 bases from a Zerg does not mean they're not going to all-in. A huge Roach Baneling bust can come. That's why it's very important to be active with the Hellions on the third base and see if the third is fully saturated, and if they take gases at the third. Because if they don't take gases at the third within a normal amount of time, then odds are pretty good they're dumping what gas they do have into Roaches and Banelings and coming for you, so you got to be very aware of that.
Yep, definitely. This Overlord does get in and scouts the stim, being research plus the 2 barracks, so he's confirmed that, oh, it's just all the third CC, by the way. You always have to be wary now. Like, Flash, for instance, would always go very, very greedy, but in OSL recently, he changed up and went for 2 base aggression. Just comes sooner. It's pretty hard to stop because you're so used to Terrans being greedy nowadays. But he confirmed that, yeah, he's being greedy, so I can kind of relax a little. I'm only going to have to deal with Hellions, not much else.
Yeah, 6 Hellions, still a dangerous number you do have to be a little bit scared of, but luckily the third base on Whirlwind with the rocks, relatively easy to keep your Lings and Queens in position to defend that. We see a nice SimCity formation over at the natural for the Zerg player. We also have 1-1 on the way for Minsyuk, and the 1-1 on the way for the Terran as well, as BadCop throws down his army, prepares to go for that 2-2, and this, once the 1-1 finishes, the kind of wave of pushes with a lot of bio and Widow Mines mixed in, if he decides to go with that aggressive style, that can just keep going and going and going. And Widow Mines generally trade cost effectively, and that's where Zergs are really starting to struggle.
Yeah, definitely. That mid-game micro is entertaining to see, but very hard to pull off for both players, really. Sometimes you get those duds of Widow Mines that just completely ruin your plan. Especially with this, what we see here from the Terran player, he's getting that quick-ish third. Not a lot of units. He's really banking on the fact that he has good Hellion control, and his Hellions are still alive. That's very important. And also, decent Widow Mine hits. But if, for instance, Minsook was going to go for that 11-minute Baneling Ling all-in, this wouldn't do anything. He'd just detonate those mines and roll over BadCop and at least take out the third.
Yeah, exactly, and that's, the mines are always a gamble, and the smart Zerg players are going to trigger them properly. We're going to see a good amount of Lings coming in here. Oh, the Hellion's kind of going right into them. It's kind of an interesting move there by BadCop, not he's juking the wrong way. The Hellions get completely taken out, and, well, they were not alive for very long, and that's going to mean a lot less map control and security for BadCop.
Yeah, it was getting to that point where the Hellions generally aren't going to do much more because it's the additions to your armies, so not the biggest deal. Of course, you do want them to keep alive for as long as possible. We do see a 4th going down for the Zerg player, and the medevacs are now out, but so are the Mutilas, so no chance for free drops. That time is over, and now it's the Terran's job to go ahead and get some AA. 1 turret just in the main, though. Not doing too much in regards to the natural or the third.
Yeah, he could be caught off guard by the Mutas in the future, but the Zerglings are running in now, and we could see a 2-prong attack here from the Zerg as he pressures the third with a lot of Banelings beginning to be morphed in, and the Mutas to kind of pull the army into pieces, because the units are pretty few here for BadCop. He's got, a lot of potential with these Widow Mines, but once they shoot, he's just got a bunch of Marines left, and against Lings and Banelings, that might not be too good.
Yeah, that is the danger. If the Widow Mines are done, Banelings just, they're going to have more Banelings than you have Marines at this point. And as we can see, all these Banelings are going in. They're going to get most of the SCVs, if not all of them. They will not get the command center. He's going to have to lift that to make sure. No, they will not. And he still did really nice economic damage. And the Mutas in the main did not do too much. Nice pull on the turret means that he saved his mineral line, but his production is now under siege.
Yeah, that's a dangerous place to be. Really good Baneling hit on the Marines at the third, and yeah, just these add-ons, getting hit, cutting the production in half, and that was very good multi-pronged aggression. Forced a lift on the third, killed a total of 18 SCVs, bringing that count to 78 drones to 51 SCVs. Not unmanageable, but oh, he actually burrowed a Zergling at the third as well, and is about to drop creep. This is a very nice follow-up here by Minsuk.
Yeah, very nice mid-game so far from the Zerg player, and now BadCop really needs to start putting on a pressure of his own. He's really not applying any pressure at all. As we can see, Zerg is now on 4 base, a very healthy 4 base, by the way, with 78 drones, and he has a very nice gas economy as well if he wants to go up to Hive, or just, you know, keep going with this Ling Bane pressure. 2-2 was started a little bit late, I believe. It is just now started, while 2-2 for our Terran player has finished.
Yeah, that gives him a big window where he'll be less vulnerable to attacks, and also pushing across the map can be much more dangerous. You know, luckily for Minsuk, it looks like the Muta's going to get here into the National, doing some more damage. There are enough Marines that wouldn't mind to chase him away, though. But luckily for Minsuk, it's a big map. He's got time to prepare for these pushes. And again, BadCop's standing army, not huge, not all together at the moment, because these Mutas are keeping him back, and he's forced to spread across all these bases. But it is still very dangerous with those 2-2 upgrades.
Yep. Drop at the 4th of the Zerg did not do too much. He dropped on top of the Banelings and saved him, and some nice macro actually does take out that entire defensive clump, so very nice, but the attack at the front's not doing too much. He needs to pull back to those Widow Mines, and well, the drop at the 4th does get cleaned up, so not much going on in favor of BadCop so far. He is just now getting back his 3rd base economy, and has no indication of getting a 4th command center.
Yep, and even when he does, he's going to have to deal with the burrowed Ling and Overlord dropping creep on it. He's going to want to put on pressure in this way, though, continuing to push up the center of the map, want to get those good trades. So far, he has been trading pretty well. Take a look at the units lost tab, ahead by about 2,300 there, and you generally do see that kind of, especially with these upgrade advantages, that's not really surprising here, but he's starting to get toward the Zerg territory, and on creep, this is where it can get rough.
Yeah, very much so, with those Banelings, but none are really morphed. Only 3 right now, and that's not really going to help. He needs those Banelings to counter this Marine Widowmine push, and the Widowmine's getting some nice hits, not the best. Oh, that's actually more in favor of the Zerg for that one. And now all of them, I believe, no, 2 more are still prepared. They're not going to get too much. And, you know, our Zerg player is playing very, very safe right here. The 4th, he wants to keep it alive. I'm surprised that he's not going to go ahead and try and get that 4th down somewhere else. He has enough minerals, and this is under pressure, so...
Yeah, he could do it. You know, while he's got the Zerg on the other side of the map, huge Baneling hits, taking out pretty much all the Marines. Now BadCop going to be forced to retreat with what he has left, which is pretty much just medevacs, as the last Marines do get picked off, but they are going to reunite with another large army in the middle, and this is where the swell of production can really start to be dangerous for the Zerg, but the fact that there's no 4th base behind this makes it kind of a tense situation for BadCop, because he needs to do damage. He needs to kill some drones or this 4th base entirely.
There we go. As soon as you said it, though, he drops a 4th command center, found enough minerals, go ahead and do that. So he will not be entirely all in on this attack, but his Marines are awfully low on health. Not too many Widow Mines are left. His Banelings are about to more favor, about halfway to go. There are a lot of Mutilas. They can probably clean this up, to be honest, but he doesn't want to waste any of them. And he is going up to Hive finally, as well as getting that Infestor upgrade. So his upgrades, though, that's really, you know, why he wants to get up to Hive, as well as Ultralisk, of course, but his upgrades are, you know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes ahead. His BadCop is ahead, so his upgrades are really going to be his advantage in this game.
Yep, and that's what he's going to use to get some momentum. It's going to need it, too, because he just lost all of his medevacs to those Mutilas, meaning these Marines' lives are very limited, and the Banelings are going to do incredible damage, all clumped together here on the creep. It's some nice spreads from BadCop, really limiting the damage they can do. More Marines backing this up, and it's pretty much pure Mutalisk, and this is why the continued aggression is so good from the Terran. If you can wipe out all the Lings on the ground, it eventually just becomes pure Mutalisk versus Marine.
Yeah, now that's exactly what's happening, and the Mutas are losing. They're not upgraded at all. 3-3 is not quite finished for our Terran player, but it's just about to. And, you know, really the story is that Zerg player is having trouble spending his money. He's not had the greatest Larva Index, I suppose. Only has 3 Larva right now, but 2,100 in the bank. And that's like, you know, at least 40 more supplies. So this is really where our Terran player is starting to shine right here, just through his macro.
Yeah, he's starting to batter him down. He can't replace the units that he's losing, getting Drilling Claws as well, which is like my favorite upgrade in the whole game. And the Marines are now finally starting to push on this 4th and do some serious damage. They can just kind of hit the 4th out of range of the Spine Crawlers, and not quite going to be able to take it down yet, but the Widow Mines are going to prevent the Zerg from advancing.
Yeah, some nice Widowmine hits, though. Actually only gets the Overseer. It's not the best, but there's just not enough Lings or Banelings to really take out these Marines cost efficiently. There they come, finally coming out. There are still a lot of medevacs on the field. BadCop has been pretty religious about making them, which is something that a lot of lesser Terrans forget in this type of situation, this high pressure, high engagement type of situation. They forget medevacs first, but he hasn't. So even though the Midas have been doing a decent job of taking out the medevacs, he still has a very healthy count at 6.
Yeah, and that's going to let his aggression, you know, be a lot more. Ooh, Baneling landmine right there. Got to be so careful. The Marines are going right over it. Oh, God. Looks like Minsuk was not looking. That was a huge opportunity for him. And it might cost him his 4th base, because honestly, this 4th looks really scary, and it has 3-3 finished.
Yeah, he does. That's really a big thing right here. And Drilling Claw is just now finished as well. He is spreading really, really decently against these Banelings. A lot more Banelings are being morphed at the 3rd. He might be willing to give up his 4th at this point, but once again, he should be taking other bases with 2,000 in the bank. Here he comes trying to save the 4th. Not a whole lot of Banelings with this actual attack. They're all back at the 3rd, and they finally come forward, but now they're just going to be pretty cost inefficient with some good splits from BadCop.
And if he can target down the hatch, no, too many Marines dying too quickly. Again, going to be barely forced away. Going to lose some medevacs here as well. The boost cooldown was not quite up. And another huge loss for BadCop. Still trading in his favor, but only just now getting this 4th base landed. Just now cleaning up the Zergling and the Overlord. And his SCV count's rather low at 53. Hasn't really been making any more. But he needs the minerals so he can just drop the mules. And he is making a planetary at the 4th, though, so that is going to slow down that mule economy. And the Banelings are rolling in here. Oh, God, that was so scary. Oh, that Widow Mine. Hero Widow Mine right there.
Yeah, really nice Widow Mine hit. Now he's pushing forward. Not too many Banelings on the field. None at all, actually. This just looks like the Ling Muta army, which is not that effective against Marines, much less Marine Widow Mine. Counterattack at the 4th didn't do too much. There was already units there. And once again, BadCop going for this 4th. It should go down, and it does.
Yep, after a long, hard-fought battle, it does go down. Going to evacuate the medevacs as fast as he can. He is giving these up, though. They will not be able to escape the mutas. He just wants to drop, see if he can take down some drones. And is the medevac going to get to unload? Just a few Marines here, but the mutas quickly going to clean that up. A total of 31 mutalists on the field. Incredibly muta-heavy for the Zerg player.
Yeah, this is the point where I'd love to see a Thor. He does have a factory with a tech lab, but he's kind of neglecting it right now. Only used it for that Drilling Claw upgrade. But 2 Thors could really help him out. Unfortunately, he's not getting it. But his economy is great. Now anyways, after he got that 4th finally established, and he's only really mining on about 2.5 bases. His natural is almost completely mined out, and his 3rd is getting there. So he's probably going to have to start lifting up his main and natural command centers and taking other bases that way.
Oh, huge Widow Mine hit on the Mutalists at the 4th, all of them getting down into the yellow and orange, and the Marine's going to come to back this up. He's going to try to get the planetary, but it takes a lot of beating, and it's not quite going to go down there. But the Mutas can just go ahead and fly into the main. Got to be so careful about Widow Mines planted anywhere, though.
Yeah, luckily he does have those Overseers with him. Did not get the upgrade, I believe, for their movement, so they're not quite as fast. Or maybe he did. He did, so they are almost as fast as the Mutas, and that's why he's been so effective against the Widow Mines. Something that a lot of Zerg players are saying that's a necessity is that Overlord speed, and he made sure to get it.
Yeah, not going to be very useful if they're trailing behind your Mutalists while they fly into Widow Mines, but doing huge damage. She actually takes out the Starport. Going to get the Armory here as well, but 3-3's already done, so it's not too large of a blow here for BadCop, but is he going to try to trade with these Mutalists here? The Drilling Claws are really helpful in scaring these Mutas away.
Yeah, they are. One thing that BadCop has not been doing that Army does crash, by the way, is getting that +1 vehicle and air defense. That has been something a lot of Terran players have been doing recently to help with the Widow Mines and the medevacs additionally, but he neglected it, and these Mutas are going into the 4th. They take out what they can, but he's starting to lose a lot of Mutalists. He was at 31, he's down to 24, and he's taking on Marines again, but engagement back up at the 4th, and it does not go in BadCop's favor. He needs to lift up, but not enough Mutalists to actually chase those down.
Now, over at the 4th, that engagement, there was an unbelievable Widow Mine hit on the Banelings. Must have killed like 12 Banelings with just 3 Widow Mines. It was absolutely insane. I almost went blind from the green flash in my eyes. But the Mutalists, like you're saying, they're being thinned out. Trading Mutalists with Marines doesn't generally do well, and all that BadCop needs is the mineral income. As long as he can keep his mules alive for their duration and keep pumping out these Marines, starting to mix in Marauders to absorb those Baneling hits, as well as prepare for the possible transition into Ultralists that most Zergs are doing, he's going to be in pretty good shape. Do we have an Ultralisk Cavern for the Zerg? No, though. Looks like not quite.
No, he just got that high for that 3-3 upgrade, and it did finish, by the way, so they're finally back on even upgrades after a very big lead for our Terran players. So that advantage that he had for about 2 to 3 minutes is now gone, and now, our Zerg player is looking pretty good. His 5th did just go down, but so did everything that BadCop brought with it to bring it down, so I don't know how good of a trade is that. It's currently 173 to 115. you know, Terran players are great in low econ situations, but the Zerg's economy still isn't that low. That fourth is still pretty healthy, but then again, his third, main, and natural all mined out.
Yeah, there's kind of a one-base economy, a lot of drones, but not the most efficient mining. BadCop kind of doing a lot with a little here, and he knows he's kind of in that army deficit, which is why he's trying to be so aggressive. Keep the Zerg back, because a direct attack could be pretty scary now that those 3/3 upgrades have finished for Minsuk. That drop over there at the third is finally going to get cleaned up, but now it's time for BadCop to push the front yet again.
Yeah, I was about to say before, actually, never mind, this engagement is happening, and it's going pretty well. Well, actually, it went decently for both players. Very nice splitting coming out from BadCop. This guy is very, very good, and the creep spread is finally starting to come out, and it's finally starting to be taken out. That's one thing I wanted to note, was that Minsuk wasn't that great about creep spread, so that's something that BadCop did not have to put his minerals into. It was mule, 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 and not that many scans, and just now he's starting to push that out, and just now he saw the scans. Nice Widow Mine hits, my god!
Oh my god, those Mutalisks are so squishy right now. They're about to fall apart. Got to get out of that situation. A very good Widow Mine placement there for BadCop. He's really keeping this fourth alive after so much harassment by the Mutas. The fifth going down again here from Minsuk, and a few Marines trailing up here to try to take care of that. The Mutalisks should be able to clean that up no problem, though, but these guys are going to have to wait a minute before they fly in again.
Widow Mine.
There it is.
I was hoping he was going to go over that Widow Mine field that was there. It was like a landmine, but he didn't. So those will regenerate as long as he's careful with them for the next minute or so. But they are looking so easy to pick off. I'm sure that BadCop's just waiting for him to fly over his Marines.
Yeah, that would just be a really terrible situation for Minsuk, and this is what he's really relying on here. He's invested in this huge Mutal Flock for a reason. He wants that map control. He wants to put out these fires, deal with the drops that are, very common, very prevalent on Whirlwind. Going to clean up these Marines, but now that the Mutas are a little bit squishified, it's going to give BadCop some room to breathe, possibly establish a fifth base. We do see an orbital is floating over to the fifth as Marines go there to clean up any preemptive Overlord creep spread. And BadCop is starting to even up now. He's getting up there in supply, and at this point, he can continue trading very cost-effectively.
Yeah, he's really done a good job of keeping the Zerg on maybe not one base, but a one-base economy. So that's where he's really where he's starting to shine. And the medevac count, the starport went down, so the medevac count hasn't been that high. In fact, those Marines and Marauders were without medevacs for the longest time, but finally 4 have just popped out with 2 more on the way. He's back to that religious medevac producing, and now we can start pushing again. Those drops were taking a toll on the medevac count while the starport was down, but he pushed through, and now he has a very sizable army.
Yep, something that, especially with the medevac support, it's going to be very scary to go up against. So I was going to say, without these medevacs, got to be careful with that T button. Don't want to stim to death, but they're going to fly right into these mines. Not quite going to go off. Minsuk is backing off there. Marines trying to get some shots off on these banelings, but you got to be very careful how far you progress.
Ooh, very, very careful splitting going down here. Some nice splitting. The Widow Mines are not in position, though. He needs to lift them and bring them with him, or his Marines just not going to be that effective against the mass banelings that we see from Minsuk. Fifth finally being trying to be taken down here, just was denied, or was not denied, rather. And Minsuk trying to go for this fourth, but there's already a large force of BadCop ready for any mutas that come this way.
Yeah, he's not going to fall for these mutalist tricks anymore. And the Marines of Widow Mines will be able to deal nicely. The Widow Mine's not planted, though, and he immediately targets that first one down. Ooh, just narrowly escapes a hit there. All these clumped up mutas so vulnerable to those Widow Mines. But, the further to the left that BadCop, expands, which, of course, is the only option. You can't expand toward your opponent at this point. The more you have to spread your army in case those mutalist attacks. That's why mutaling Baneling is so good on Whirlwind. Very mobile, and it's easy to expose a Terran opponent who is, in the late game like this, spread across 5 bases. And another drop over at that 11 o'clock base might be able to focus it down. Nah, I think it's going to be safe.
Yeah, it looks like it will be saved, but it is ripe for picking later, as well as those drones. His drone count is still at 67, but he's on 2 base, about to be on 3 base, though, and once he's on 3 base, he will have a very healthy economy.
Yeah, he'll be able to, what's his larva count right now? He's got 33 in the bank, so he'll just be able to continually replenish his army, and he's actually getting 3 level 3 weapons upgrades on these Mutalisks as a drop gets cleaned up over at the 3 o'clock. And they are going to be pretty soon 3-2 Mutalisks, which is, not bad when they're all in this big group. They can actually trade decently well with Marines as long as you have that Zergling backup.
Yeah, I'm really surprised he's investing so much, but of course he has been getting so many Mutalisks that that actually makes sense. Just not something you see a lot. You see a lot of Mutalisks a lot of times, but they sometimes lack on the upgrades. Not Minsuk, though, really powering forth with that. The 6th of the Zerg did go down, so it's back to 2 base. He's still trying to get that 3 o'clock position with some drops, but Minsuk is very good at defending it.
Yep, and definitely this large muta count is helping him out quite a bit. Still can't quite get past that base. He has given up on the 11 o'clock maybe for now, after I believe that was the 3rd time it was taken out. But this base over here on the 3 o'clock position is doing just fine.
Yeah. And so many banelings are actually protecting it. I think he realizes that that's just going to be dropped non-stop now that he expanded closer to the Terran, which is never what you want to do. I always want to expand away as a Zerg. So he's going to be very careful about that base. And, you know, in return, the Terran player is going to be very careful about this planetary fortress. It is almost mined out, so we'll just move everything and just have that planetary as, well, free fodder, I guess, for banelings. But for now, it's still healthy, and he'll be able to move those STVs to potentially another base, as he is getting a 5th command center, is it?
Yeah, I believe 6th, yeah. I think. Or no, yeah, because he just flew the one over. Yeah. So yeah, that's a 5th command center that he'll be able to, you know, just immediately saturate a new base with, provided the STVs don't get taken out by these Mutalisks. The 3-2, not quite completed yet, but they're still doing pretty well, but you don't want to go up against that many Marines.
Yeah, it's still a scary number of Marines, even for heavily upgraded Mutalisks. The bigger task force of BadCop is moving forward. Lots of Widow Mines are planted, so it's going to be hard to engage as Zerg. And I don't think he wants to. Actually, he's just pulling his drones, but into a meat grinder that is Marines. They mostly get away, though, and the 4th will go down, but he kept most of his drones alive. Both are pretty starved for healthy bases, but this is where Terran shines, so I'm going to have to give the favor in a BadCop.
Yeah, he's limiting the economy, he's limiting the production. And pretty soon it's just going to be, oh my god, a brutal Widow Mine hit on these Mutalisks. They are just getting so weakened. The further they progress into this base, the more likely it looks like they're just going to have to turn back and run, because there's Marines and Widow Mines everywhere. Very effective minefield planted down by BadCop. Minsook has generally been doing incredibly well against these drops. We have a pretty big 5 medevac drop over in the main now, looking to take out the Hive.
I don't think it will, though. Lots of banelings prepared for this, so he just picks up and boosts away. The Mutas are not quite... No, they are in position. They will try and take these down, but there is another huge force of Widow Mines plus Marines waiting back at his 6th. Oh, and he gets 1 full medevac in most of the other ones, so... But unfortunately, because of that, it looks like his 5th base is going to go down. It's currently at 69. All he needs to do is target it, but he's trying to deal with these banelings, and it's not going to be able to happen. He has more banelings than Marines, and never can split cost quickly against that. But that is so... I mean, just like dropping 2 Marauders and that base is dead.
Yeah, that thing is just going to take a few more shots, and it's very close to the Terran, so it's a likely candidate for getting sniped. The Mutalisk is still trying to control everything, but, you know, even with an incredibly large Mutalisk flock and with how fast they are and how good they are with those 3-2 upgrades, he still can't just hold 5 bases here against BadCop. The Marine dropping is constant. It's never-ending. He's making sure to hold these spots, and every drop that dies... Oh, God! Oh.
Well...
Well, that might just sum it up right there. Right into the minefield, kind of like what you wanted to happen about 5 minutes ago, but it looks like you got your wish. Just took a while for someone to hear you.
Yeah, I cannot believe he did that. Unfortunately, the overseers, I guess, were a little too far behind, so we saw maybe 1 or 2, and was like, oh, that's fine, and there was actually 5. Unfortunate stuff going down. That was pretty much the only thing he had in this game that was really helping him out, was that huge Mutaflock, and now it's down to a measly 8.
Yep, an 8 that's easily going to get another Widow Mine shot to the face. He did transfuse up this hatchery, so that's nice. Transfusing the Mutas as well. Try to keep something alive, but now the momentum is undeniably in BadCop's favor. Pretty nice baneling hits there. Minsook really going to try to hold on this base, but he does not have the standing army to try to take another one, which is what he really needs. And oh, the Widow Mines... Oh, there they go. Ouch.
Always awesome to see that. They will be cleaned up by what's left of Mutalisks Flock, but as you can see on the mini-map, BadCop now has 2 really healthy mining bases and can go ahead and lift any other command center that he wants to get even more. That is, you know, Terran's pretty good, not gonna lie.
Yep, just take over the map 1 little command center at a time, fly from place to place, just mine it all out and then leave. Not enough Mutas to deny any damage here, and there it is. GG going down from the Zerg player Minsook, as BadCop kind of fighting from behind for a long time there, an 80 supply disadvantage at one point, but bringing it back with some incredible aggression. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a really good TVZ. Excellent play from BadCop.
Yeah, well, I hope you guys tune in to a lot more games, because we will have some every week, 1 or 2 more games here on the YouTube channel. Make sure to check out claritygaming.com as well, where you can view detailed information on the roster for both the Clarity Gaming Academy and, of course, Clarity Gaming's A-Team, as they participate in more tournaments and matches in the future. We'll see you at the next game.